Yay.
Yay! Hey, there they are. Thanks, Nadine. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Um, hey, everybody. Good to see you all out there. Thanks for showing up for another episode of The Corner. Like I mentioned, today is Scoreboards. Um, it's been a while, I think, since the last time we've met. We kind of feel like we skipped one there. Just everybody's really busy. Is school winding down for everybody, or up, or is it is classes still going on? I'm not sure. My kids have like another week or two, but hopefully a good time to practice Minecraft, huh? Oh, there you go. Summer vacation forever. Yes. Okay. Well, without any more hesitation, I will fire up Minecraft, which I already have here. I will share. Oh, it's a late call for you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Bit of a night out myself, but I appreciate it. Let me share my screen and see what we got here. All right, so today we're talking about scoreboards. So I'm gonna fire up. Try to move this little. Oh my gosh, dude! Are you kidding me? What is going on? This little thing minimized. All right. All right. There's I tried to come up with some fun things that I like to do with scoreboards, so hopefully they'll help you. But I also did kind of the basics too. So as usual, if you have any questions, if it's going too quickly, if you feel I glossed over something, and shout out, and I'll stop the car, and like Nadine, I'll stop the car and try to fix the problem. Everybody can see the Minecraft loading screen, enjoying the bitterly long process of loading. Yeah. I played this recently on somebody else's computer and in the test lab, and it was like so fast. I had a little jealousy going on there. This is the same computer. I'm using the same computer that I've had for since I started on Minecraft, actually. So it's been like it's almost 8 years I've had this computer, and I do have a new one. I just haven't set it up yet. All right, so here we go. Scoreboards. If I'm gonna pretend you know nothing, and again, if this maybe it's just a refresher for you, or maybe it's the first time. So scoreboards is the system that Minecraft has. It's kind of invisible, and it's run through commands. And of course, that means they could be, run from the console like this. It also means that they could be in a command block or a function or an NPC, anything that runs a command. So there's several parts to it, but once you understand the parts, it's pretty easy. Our IntelliSense kind of makes good work of that. The split that happens right off the bat is between objectives and players. And a scoreboard needs to exist before you can assign players. Typically, I mean, I think you can actually do it the other way, but let's just keep it simple. So the first thing you want to do is create an objective, right? And start typing objectives, and then you get these options here. You get add, list, remove, and set display. So it's pretty straightforward. You want to add a new scoreboard to the game. You're going to pick add. You want to remove one that is already in there. You're going to pick remove. If you want to see all the ones that you've already created, you put list. And if you want to set the display, and there's a couple ways to do this. 3 ways to set display, and we'll talk about them in a second. But right now I'm going to pick a list. And the reason I'm going to pick a list is so you can see what scoreboards that I have in the world, except, let's see if we can see them. Of course you can't because I have feedback off. Sorry about that. Okay. So there, whoa, there's so many. They're just whipping through, but you can kind of see for a second there. Oh, that they're showing up just really briefly. Not sure why it's so brief, but it's showing that we have a lot of scoreboards in this world. If we wanted to add a new one, well, yeah, let's add one. So you can see this is a list of all the ones that I have here already, so you don't make a mistake and type another one in. But let's just say we'll create this one and we'll call it welcome. So that's the first part. After the add is you have this little bracket that has the objectives, and that's going to be a string. You're going to name that whatever you want to call this scoreboard. Next, after that, you're going to get the type of scoreboard. If you are familiar with Java, if you've done a lot of scoreboards over there, you'll know that there's a whole bunch of different kinds of scoreboard types. But over here in Bedrock, which is also EDU, we only have one right now, and that's dummy. So we put dummy. That's all we got. And then the final part is the display name. And the display name, a lot of times is, the same as the front end, but it's going to be the name that actually displays if you show the scoreboard like on any of the the sidebars or anything. So you can name it whatever you like. I personally like to put it in quotes so that I can control the punctuation of it. And so I'm gonna call this one welcome everyone. And because I put it in the quotes, I can use the symbols and the punctuation, the spacing, and then it's going to work. So now I've created this scoreboard called Welcome Everyone. It's going to go away. I'm not really 100% sure why it's whisking away. It's really weird. What do I have going on that would make that happen? Uh-huh. And I thought I did that. Sorry, 1 second here. Uh-huh. Let's try one more time. Oh, yeah, it's just going away. So now we have a scoreboard, called Welcome Everyone. But the thing is that you don't know where it is. You can't see it. So the next part of this setup, the scoreboard objectives, is set display. So we're going to look at that really quick. And we'll pick set display. You have 3 options: below the name, list, and sidebar. Well, if you do below the name, you would see the player's score underneath their player names. So I'm not in a multiplayer world, so I can't really show that, but you get the gist of it, right? You got a guy, you see their name, your buddies in the world, you can have their score pop up underneath their name. Next, you have the list, and the list one is cool, I guess, but oh, I didn't do it right because I didn't pick which one. Let's pick ascending. Why not? You can pick what you pick because you're setting the list, and then you're picking the list, right? You're picking which scoreboard. Because I had all those scoreboards, I could pick any of them. And then, oh wait, yeah. And then you could pick if you want the values to be ascending or descending, right? So I'm just picking ascending, and we hit that, and now you're like, whoa, where is it? Oh, I wonder if this is why I couldn't see it. actually. But anyway, so it's list is here. It's right here in multiplayer. So that's where you find it. See, welcome everyone. You can see it right there. So if I had points, and I'll show you in a minute. Well, I can show you right now. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. I don't know. Just remember that. Just remember that listing, because I'm going to actually just show the last one first. So the last one is sidebar, and again we'll do welcome, and we'll do ascending, and bam, and now you can see it on the side. You see welcome everyone, and what you don't see here is any scores, right? And nothing is assigned to anybody. So we're going to assign it to someone, and that's going to be me. So I'm going to go back into scoreboards, back to the main fork, and I'm going to pick players. And this is the players is where you do all the value assignment. You set up the scoreboard in objectives, and then you kind of don't really have to go back to objectives unless you want to see all the objectives that exist, or if you want to change the display. But players is where you're going to do all the heavy lifting. So you see here we have add, and we have list, and we have operation, random, remove, reset, set, and test. So we're gonna I'll list really fast, because I might even have some old scoreboards on me that I didn't clear out, because that happens. You're gonna find our target, which is me, right? And don't need any modifiers there. So yeah, dude, it is flying off screen. I have no idea why. Minecraft is being weird this morning. It wasn't doing that earlier. Really not 100% sure why. But anyway, if you see for a split second, it's showing all that text. You might not even be picking it up through Teams, but it's supposed to just hang on that screen. Oh, is my... No? I thought maybe my keyboard is messed up. Okay, well, let me try one more time. But yeah, it's just blowing past it. I don't know why. Anyway, I that would show which ones I have. So I'm gonna put myself on a list now. I'm gonna add myself. This will be much more fun in a minute, I promise. But I'm gonna add myself to this scoreboard. There's me adding myself to welcome. And that's it. Oh, well, so I'm not even gonna add myself. So the add it says add, but it's not like adding you to the list. It's adding a value to the list, and it's assigning it to you. Maybe I didn't explain that well, but that's what it's doing. So if you just want to get on the scoreboard, you can set a value. So like I'm not even going to do add yet. I'm going to do set. Because add has multiple meanings, and I think, and it's easy to think about it as like, oh hey, I'm added to that scoreboard, I'm on it, and basically what it does is it actually adds a number. It adds a value. So you could define it. You could add 1 and you'll have 1. You could add 0. I guess it would put you on the board, maybe the same as set. But you can also add 10 or 100 or whatever value you want. So and it's an accumulative, right? It literally adds to your score, and we'll see that in a minute here. But I'm going to set it to 0 just so that that's my starting value. And as you can see, it says welcome everyone, and then it has me on the scoreboard with my starting value that I set as 0. You can set it to, again, you can set it to anything, but it's not additive. If I change my score right now to 100, and if I hit set again and I say 10, it's 10. It's not 110. However, if I add 10, bam, it's 20, right? So now we know adding is like addition, it's math. And the same goes with remove. So they use thing about scoreboards is or about Minecraft is you probably have picked up on is like a lot of times there's weird names for things, confusing names you might even say. Like I feel like this is one of those cases. Remove is how you remove a point of value. So again, I do the same thing where I'm going to say remove from welcome, and I'm going to just remove one. So now I'm at 19, right? But I mean, it makes sense, but also it has two meanings. Again, like you might think that you're removing yourself from the scoreboard. You're not, but you can. But that is actually called reset. And to me, reset would bring you back. It makes me think, oh, I'm going back to where I started. Well, it doesn't know what you started at. It doesn't remember that. So it's just it's. I mean, I guess it's the correct word. It just sounds weird to me because I have preconceived notions of what those words mean in my gaming vernacular. But anyway, so I will reset me right now. And if I take this off, now I'm off of the scoreboard. You see I'm not on it now. That's how you clear someone off the scoreboard. So now we learned how to add. We learned how to set our score. We learned how to add and subtract value, and we learned how to put us on and off the board through, set or remove. There's a couple others. We'll kind of look at some more in a minute. Operation will perform a math operation. I have a little area set up for that. And random, I have a little thing set up for random as well. I believe test is um, I think it tests against I think another score if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the wild card. Let's see. Yeah, no welcome score found for me, so I didn't have it. But I think it's going to look for uh, someone within that range. So now that we have the basic understanding, is everybody cool? Is everybody on? Everybody's on the journeys. No one's left on behind. We are all doing good. Okay. Yeah. If so, just shoot up the hand or whatever. But I mean, that's just pretty straightforward. I think personally, I think the hardest thing. Oh, one last thing, and I'm just going to do it really quick. Is how to clear it off. Like so, you have that scoreboard off to the side, and maybe you don't want it. Well, you can just do that. Wait, what did I do wrong? I think you could just put a scoreboard objective set display and wait, why did not? What am I doing wrong? So it's because I pick it's sidebar. Sorry, I was saying list. So I guess I just go to the list. But you pick this without an objective and it'll clear it, right? So if you don't want to see it anymore off to the side, so that's how you clear it. You just pick the method, and I'm sure if we look here, I cleared list as well. Like I did that on accident the first time, thinking of a sidebar, but so it's not super complicated, at least not what we've looked at yet. But I think the thing that makes it like I don't know that a little mystifies people a little bit is just the fact that it's an invisible system, right? And it can be hard to keep track of it. So I recommend using good names and keeping a list of them somewhere, and that'll help you a lot because you might have hundreds of scoreboards, as you'll see later in some of the ways that we use them. Um, and it's just kind of good to know what each one's doing, how to keep track of it. So I'm going to go through some of the things that I use it for. So first is assigning and displaying team names. And I know we just talked about some of this, but now you're going to see it all in action. We're going to talk to the robot and choose a team. And then we're going to press the button on Pencil to see the team roster. So if I go over here and I look at the team roster, I'm going to also I'm going to turn these back off because if I have them on, it's just going to create a bunch of clutter. every time I do one of these things. All right. So it's going to create all that mess up there. So anyway, again, and one last thing that before we move on is remember if you want to check out how any of this stuff works, the command box down there somewhere. But oh, there it is. You can see. You can just click on here, and you could always come back and see how we did everything. So again, if you want this world, we'll get it to you too. Oh, come on, clumsy fingers. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to go into survival just so I don't accidentally break anything, is we're going to click this. And you can see there's a red team that's popping up. It's displaying for a few seconds. It's showing the blue team. The blue team's going to show up seconds, and then the green team. As you can see that I'm not assigned to any of them, and no one else is assigned to them right now. So they're blank. The way that they're displaying is they're all on a timer, hitting different command blocks. So that's why they're popping up in order. It's basically hitting a command block that is telling it to display that team on the sidebar. So once I pick here, I'm going to talk to the team picker. Welcome to competition. Choose a team. I can pick any team I want. I'm just going to pick red team. And now if you watch here, you can see I'm on the red team. Still don't have any players on blue, and we still don't have any players on green. But let's say I want to switch, and I'm going to jump to green. Now I'm off a red team. I'm not on blue team, but I'm on green team. Now, what I did here, what the commands are doing here, let's see if I put this in here, hopefully. See this? It's actually every time I'm getting into a team, I'm joining the team. I'm setting to 0, right? That's how I'm joining the team at a value of 0. But I'm also resetting the other ones every time. That's how I get kicked off the team. Otherwise, I would be on red and green right now, right? Because I picked both of those. It doesn't automatically switch. There's not just one scoreboard. You could have hundreds of scoreboards attributed to you. So remember, if you are switching people to other scoreboards, that if you're moving them around, that you also have to remove them from you if you don't want those to display. If you're doing something like what I just did, where you're showing all the teams, you would be on all the teams. So, all right, so that's assigning teams and viewing teams. So here is a little simulation of a little esport mini game, battle royale, whatever you want to call it. I call it who's keeping score. And what we have here is we have a team score, and you can see we got red team and blue team here. And then we got the statistics scores of all the players. Every player has their own score, right? We could reset the values, but what I've done is I put these little buttons under here to show these guys playing. So somewhere when these guys are playing, this guy's hitting this guy. So player 1 of the zombie team just scored. And then over here, this piglin, he's getting some action and he's really racking up some kills. So he's got 3 kills. And then it looks like this one's going to get a couple. So you can see every time they attack and they do something, they're getting points. And so we're seeing that these are their individual stats. But if we look over here, we can also see that they're tied. The score is tied up. And so I'm sure you can already kind of figure out what we're doing here, but we got 4 sets of score. We have 4 scoreboards that we're dealing with. And one scoreboard is, these guys with a scoreboard of called player scores, and this is keeping track of every time they hit something. At the same time that they hit something, they're getting a point for team score. So it's showing it. So you could this is just an example of showing how you could be on multiple scoreboards. And just like how, I mean, it's one thing to have a scoreboard for your team, but it's also kind of really cool for each player to know their stats. So it's showing you some cool ways that you could use it so that, they can, players can feel like, they can see their contribution, but also the team is recognized too. So, we can actually reset either the team or the players. So imagine, we're at the at the end of round 1 or whatever, and you're like, okay, it was a tie. Let's restart that, but we don't want to restart the player scores because we want everybody to keep like a running score of how well they've done throughout the whole series. So we keep this up, right? And so we're okay, battle on, and you got Zombie Threes kicking some more butt, and this guy's doing something and something, and everybody's getting their scores, and then that game ends, and we look at the team score, and the red team beats the blue team, but we still have everybody's scores that they got throughout. So there's that. Alrighty, so I'm gonna move on now. Everybody's good. Everybody's tracking. Again, if you want to see how this is like the actual commands, just dig under here because this is where I keep everything. I'm in survival. I'm not going to do it, but trust me, the command blocks are all under here. Some of these things get a little bit messy. Like these have 2 scoreboards on them, right? And again, I would do some of this stuff in a function typically, and I did some stuff in functions that you can also look at the function files, um, but basically, if you want to see it, all the work is here. So if it helps you. All right. This is using score as a state. And what I'm going to do here is clear our score, clear my scoreboard here. Objective set display, sidebar, and just clear that out. So what we have here is a bunch of doors, right? And hopefully I don't have one of these tags already, but because I might have already played it and have a tag somewhere. But these doors are color coded, but they're also access numbered. So this one is like number 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, and finally 16 through 20. What you're going to do is you're going to need to get a code to get in here. So if you have 16 through 20, you're going to be able to get into the black room, and if the yellow room, blah blah blah. You guys all get where I'm going with this. Right now I have no number, so I'm going to generate a random number, and this is where the random comes into play on the scoreboard. So right, we had the scoreboard, and what was it? It was objectives. Um, add, let's just say 1 for a second. Dummy. Oh, you can't name it 1. Sorry, it won't let you do that. Test me, dummy. I don't remember. So, no, this isn't where you do it. It's under players. Sorry, it's players. Yes, right there. So you see random. So we have random, and we'd have to get a value. I'm just gonna again just have a fake one here so you can see, but you can and it's like I think it's not IntelliSensing because it's like that's not real. So let me see if I can just grab one. I'm just gonna do 4. But anyway, what you do here is you set the values that you want to go random between. So in this example, it's not 0 because 0's not on there. It's 1 and 20. So now when I hit this, it's going to pick a random number between 1 and 20. This is like the closest to like true random that we have in Minecraft as far as I know. So it's a good way if you want to do random stuff like create slot machines or anything like that. This is your gateway. And so what I've done here is I set this up to give me a random number. So it's giving me the number 17. That's my random number. So because I have 17, I can now access this room. And you'll notice that I still can't get into any of these other ones. But if I come over here and I get a new number, now I got 14. And I could go into yellow now. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm using them as kind of states, right? So it's I mean, you can do this with tag. There's a lot of ways to do it, but like getting the random part is the benefit here too. The using it as a state is part of it, but I wanted to show a way to do random, and random number generator is pretty fun, and it may look like they're going in order sometimes. Look at that, double 11s. Woo, take me to the table. But you know, that's how random works, right? Anyway, random's pretty cool. I like it, and that's how you do it in the states. So let's see if I get one low number. 9. That puts me on pink. I'll just do one more. It's a really. I know you guys can't hear it. I probably didn't turn the sound on in my share, but it's a rewarding sound to hear iron doors open. All right, so next I'm going to show using it. Oh, and by the way, one thing I'd like to show. Everybody close your eyes for a second. Make sure I don't have anything up that you shouldn't see. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks. One thing that I want to show about is the randomizer is kind of how I did it as a function. Just, I mean, if you're familiar with functions, you'll get this, but basically it's running, and it's you know, this is holding all the this is how those titles, because basically you do random numbers. Everything in the scoreboard is like invisible, right? So like every time getting the numbers invisible. This is how I made it pop up. So basically, it checks your score. That's one of the things you could use as a modifier to your target, right? Is you can use scores. So scores equal, and so then you pick the name of your scoreboard that you want to track. And in this case, it was random number, and then the value that you're looking for. So for value 1, I said run the title that says 1, and that's why you can see it pop up on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I was doing that, just in case you're wondering. All right. Next we have this, and again, this is kind of doing the same thing, because if you know functions and you know you don't have to do it in a function, but it's just easier. But if you understand the hacky way that we use like conditionals in Minecraft by using explicit targeting criteria, kind of our if else workarounds, you'll understand why you can put a lot of those into a function and then run that function as the one command that you're running, and it will do all those commands. It'll run them all in a function instantaneous, but only the one that applies to the players is the one that works. That's why it's conditional. In here, what I did is I wanted to create a little basketball game here. So I made this little basketball court, and now we got our score, and I'm going to grab some balls here out of the chest, and I'm going to try to shoot the hoops, and it's going to take me a couple shots because it's not an easy game because we don't have really great ball physics yet. But oh, first try, he shoots, he scores. Oh my god, I couldn't have done that better. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was amazing. I know it doesn't seem like much, but thank you, Dan. That it's Minecraft, man. That could have taken me 5 tries, but I can't believe I did it. Okay, practice makes perfect. So anyway, you'll see I scored, right, but I got a 2-point shot. So if I come back here and try, let's see what happens when I come back here. If I make this one that I really want to hear, yeah, see, nothing. Come on. Oh, getting closer. Oh, 2 of them. What? Okay.
Chef
Oh, I did it.
Cole, what is that ball? Like, what entity is that? Is that a?
It's a snowball.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering. Yeah.
But it's genetically modified to to be orange for starters, but also to have a different power. So it's not going as far as a snowball, and it's
got like gravity on it.
Well, the snowball does, but the power,
does it?
Yeah, but the power is usually set further, so you could really huck it faster, it moves faster.
Oh, okay.
And also I took off the particle on hit, so there's no particle explode. I didn't want the basketball to explode every time. So what I wanted it to do was land on the ground, and it's a complicated process to do that. But maybe we can talk about it someday. But
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of it's a lot of like summoning a new item at this thing's location. It's a lot of work. So yeah. Anyway, but what I do want you to notice though is that I scored from back here, and I have 5 points now. And so if you do the math, and if you are a basketball fan, you know that I made a 3-point shot as opposed to the 2-point shot I made up there. Come on, baby, one more. Give me one more. There. No. Oh, was that behind it? I couldn't tell. Try one more. Come on. That's behind it. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is made it. Boom. There you go. 3-pointer. And I got 3 points. But when I come up here and I get the close shot, come on. Oh, I just smacked myself. I just smacked myself silly with the ball. Okay, let's see. Is that going to go in? No.
Can you cheat by throwing it through the bottom?
Yeah. I was just trying to have some skill. Okay. So there you go. So now I got a 2-point. So the point of this is showing that you have conditionals of value based on where you are. But that could and that's just because it's basketball. It has rules. So I wanted to say, if I'm back here, give me, a good 3-pointer. Watch go in. Yes, I did it. Boosh. So 3 points from downtown, and 2 points within the key, or whatever they call it. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I don't know the terminology. But anyway, that's showing how you could set up different things. And the way it's working again is, if we look at our function, we have basketball ranges, and it just says if you're within this area, make it a 3-point shot, and if you're not, make it a 2-point. If you're in if it's not, I guess I could have done it that way too, I guess, but I put the area. I defined the area, so I'm defining areas, and if you're in there, those are what the values are that you're going to score. So it's a pretty cool system, I think so. All right, so now I'm going to show you this scoreboard. Oh, I already had that. Boom. Okay, now this is my new haiku generator because I wanted to show you that, like, a way that you could use scoreboards for something that wasn't score. And so in this, I just wanted to have a text pop up. Some servers. Oh wait, someone had a question. Sorry. Were your areas overlapping? They were not, actually, in that one. They came right up to the lines. I believe if they were overlapping and you were in it, you would actually get the double points just because of how it works. You'd have to. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it would pick one of them. I think it would just say both. It would give you both. So I kind of avoided it. It's really strict refs out on the court. Floats over the line. Mark it 0. little that one movie, I can't think of the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Big Lebowski. There it is. So I want to show you how you could do something different than just showing text, and it's because basically you can make a scoreboard with anything, like, as far as the name. So, like, and then you could display it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn the clock on here, and that's just going to push this in here so that we get a clock, because I want to use this. I want to show you this haiku, and AI wrote this haiku for you. So it's not my creative juices, it's that of the collective internet. So here we go. Wow, it really takes your breath away, doesn't it? It's deep. It's very deep. But anyway, what's happening here is I'm controlling the timing. The hardest thing about Minecraft, I think, is still that we could do work on. We've talked about different ways. I know there's people do things by counting ticks, and they kind of create timers that way. But so you can do it in a scoreboard. But I always think I still mechanically do a lot of delays using just repeaters and stuff because it's so controllable. But technically, you could have put something in like a counter that's just like you could make a timer, right? If you know how to make a running timer, which is just a repeating block that's adding a value, right? Adding a scoreboard value, like adding 1 to a scoreboard every second or every tick, right? You can just count that up. I can show you how to do that if you like, if you aren't tracking what I'm saying. But here, I'm going to turn this off really quick.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So, you like to do that? At the end, I can show it. But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
basically, you make a little counter, right? And so then that sets the time. So we know in Minecraft it's 20 ticks to a second. So every 20 frames, I put one of those conditional value things or a command, and I run it on a scores equals 20, 40, 68, etc. And in that score, so in this, I have this thing just going through, and it's about every whatever 10, it's roughly 10 to 12 seconds, I think, or ticks. Sorry, it's firing a new one to get that, to get our little, here, I'll set it again, and to get our little haiku going. It's just kind of traveling around. These little clocks, I think, are a good way to visualize the time, you know and you can see if you can control it out, but you can also do it again, like I said, with the timer. And you just in here, instead of um, instead of saying the show the scoreboard when it hits this, you would have it run the function, and all of these would be in one function, again similar to the conditionals of the basketball. And when it said scores equals 20, then show scoreboard 1, and then scores equals 40, show scoreboard 2, and the timer is running. So you have them both running, right? You have the thing checking you have the thing counting up every tick, and you have the other thing checking every tick. So that's how you do it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but I'll get through the rest of the stuff. Is everybody tracking? How do you run a function from a command block? That is pretty simple because there's a function command, right? So you got function as a command, and you build your function. So you build your function outside, and you put it in you need to have a behavior pack. So you put your function inside, you have your behavior pack, you have a folder called functions, and then you make your function here. And we have the randomizer here. So you put all the commands that you want to run, and these are all going to run at the exact same time. That's how it works. There's no delays or waits. It just, every time the function runs, it runs all these, right? But you play the conditional game where you set up on your target, you add the success criteria, or the explicit targeting. I'm not sure what the actual, I call it like explicit targeting, but you're modifying your target modifiers. Maybe that's what they call it. I don't know what they call it, to be honest. But this is where you set it up. So in the case of what was it? Not the range. The haiku. We have this here, right? And it's saying display display 1. So there's a actual scoreboard called 1. And if we look at what like scoreboard 1, what it says, as far as, you remember how I had the dummy name set up? What it says is um, instead of saying, like in the first one I had welcome everyone, it actually says victory takes form or whatever. So like I wrote that, well, AI wrote it, and then I copied it and pasted it in, and so that's how that works. I realize that we're kind of like running out of time, so I do want to get to some of these last parts. Boy, these things sure go quick. If you can hang out a little bit longer at the end, I can kind of give you a little bit extra there. But I want to respect everybody's time and get through this real fast. So what I did here is I wanted to show like how you could use it in like a little adventure. This is how I typically use it when I make something. So these are the conditions I'm going to be tracking, and basically I'm treating them as just a binary switch. 0 for I haven't done it, 1 for I have. And that's how I use, like I track a lot of stuff. So if I have a lot of things I want to keep track of, I just think of them as like little toggle switches, zeros and ones, just on and off. And so I created this little mini adventure, and these are the conditions I have to hit to beat it. And now I'll play through, and you'll kind of see how it works when I'm going through it. So, and some of the cool things you'll see, I'll explain why Scoreboards is affecting it. So this guy is telling me evil monsters grabbed the princess and locked her in the dungeon. To save her, I have to figure out a way inside the dungeon. So I made this little puzzle. It's a rotation puzzle. I see all the heads, and I see the door as a zombie. So I'm going to just look and move the sword until I find the zombie head. And I found it. So you see, solved puzzle updates to 1, and the door opens. So now I can progress. So I solved the puzzle. So as I head inside the dungeon, I meet this wanderer. And he's like, I hear there's a treasure in the dungeon that can defeat the monster. Maybe you'll find it. Maybe I will. So I venture deeper into the dungeon, and I'm looking around. It's dark and scary. And hey, look, I found a box. Inside the box is a golden sword. I'm guessing that's my treasure. Solved puzzle, now found treasure. So I found the treasure. Aha. Now, one thing that's interesting is that I could just go and keep going to the dungeon, but like say I was in a bigger game and I was exploring around. If I come back and I talk to the wanderer, now he says, looks like you found the treasure. Now track down the monster and save the princess. So his dialogue changed because it's checking him. One thing that I hope I know I didn't point it out specifically, but hopefully you picked up on it, is that you can make entities players too, right? You can assign an entity to a scoreboard. And one of the weird things is, you remember how I showed you all the piglins and the zombies, and they were all together, like fighting each other? Well, those were just armor stands, obviously, with pig like heads on them. But I put them into the scoreboard. The funny thing is when you add an entity to a scoreboard, they come up as a big long list of crazy, uh, like a big string. It doesn't just say piglin or whatever. It doesn't know. So it basically assigns it this long number. But what I did is I put them into the system, and this is something. It's a cool trick that you can do if you're not familiar with it. And then I localized that string. So if you look, this is how I named all the piglins. This is the number that Minecraft assigned them, and then I just said, well, make that number equal the name piglin1. And so it's kind of a cool little workaround for that, you know. Um, and then they'll put that number on the scoreboard, and it'll actually it'll appear in a name. So this guy, he I don't have to display his, I don't change his name, but you can see his text change, and it's because it's now like saying, hey, it's a new score. So now I'm going to defeat the monster. I can already see him. He's already angry. I could tell he's not happy to see me. Get some, get some, get some. Oh yeah. All right, monster defeated. So you can see on my scoreboard, monster defeated. So now I only have one final objective, and it's something to do with this little lady in here. So I'm
Were
going
you
to come over
referencing
here.
Duke Nukem there?
Not intentionally. Which part?
The get some. I seem to remember that from the
Oh,
original
oh,
Duke Nukem.
yeah. No, it's just something. It's just sadly part of my vocabulary. Go and get some. Get some. Uh, yes. And now I've opened the doors, and I'm gonna rescue the princess. Nice work defeating that monster. He was awful. I do kind of like this dungeon though, so she's gonna stay. She's gonna fix it up. It's a fixer upper, so she's gonna stay. I, however, am gonna leave, and you can see all my conditions have been met, and I'm gonna just exit out the way I came and talk to the trader again, or the wanderer guy, and he's like, "You saved the princess. 3 cheers for our hero. Thank you." So he's appreciative, and he also knows that he's on that all my criteria is met. So his dialogue changed, and even this guy, "You did it. You saved the princess. Thank you." So that's how you can use scoreboards to kind of create a really cool adventure and change, and using it with the NPC dialogue, you can really make a fun little RPG or anything like that. It's a really powerful feature. Finally, I thought you guys might enjoy seeing some of the operations and how they work. So I set up this little operations thing here. These are my helpers today, Bob and Doug, and yes, that is a reference. So uh, I what I'm gonna do is everything. So Bob is gonna be our player, and Doug is going to be our constant. And so when we're going to be looking at Doug's score and using that as the constant against Bob's score, which will be changing. And where it varies, I'll show you. But so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give uh, Bob some score. So I'm going to get Bob up to like say 3. And then I'm going to add a couple points here to Doug here. And I just set these up, so I mean you guys can play with this and add scores, and this thing's pretty interactive. Also, I left all the trenches open so you can see all the commands. So the first, and these are all for operator. Remember I showed you when I just showed you the scoreboard, players, operation, right? It was for this is where this is all what these are all about, right? And so see all these modifiers here. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at here. So we have add, and what add does is it looks and it takes Doug's score, because remember Doug's our constant, and we're applying all the things to Bob. So it's going to add Doug's score to Bob's. So we look at the sidebar, we see Doug has score 2, so we add it to Bob, and he guesses 5, of course, yes. The minus subtracts those values. So now, taking away the 2, we're back to 3. Multiply. So now we're going to multiply. Bam, 6, right? Now divide. So bam, 3. And that's how those work. Now you can juggle a bunch of different scoreboards, right? And use those operators to help. I mean, there's probably a ton of stuff you could do. I didn't want to spend the time kind of like trying to think of all the examples that you could do. That's why I kind of just created this as a basic like list to show what they all do. But I mean, there's all kinds of events. My buddy just made a map. He's making like a board game, and sometimes he like adds a separate score on top of your score to like extend like the amount of turns you have per turn, and so that's how that works. This one is a little confusing, but this one basically divides Bob's score by Doug's, and then uses the remainder to get the score. And what it usually does, I think this is the only one that actually changes Doug's score, because I think this one clears out his, because it actually, yeah, see, it actually, I think it didn't lower his, or maybe not, but that one's weird. And like to be honest with you, I never use this weird modulus thing, so it's a little beyond me. But hey, if you can find a cool use for something, it exists. I'm sure somebody knows how to use it for awesome effect. This one will change the score, but only if the score is lower. And so, as you can see, Doug's score is actually 2, so it's not going to have any effect because it's not going to change it because it's lower. But in this case, this is the high. If it's higher, so Doug's score is higher, so it should make Bob's score 2. And this one is swap, but I'm going to just multiply these, like get some multiplication out of here. So it's just easier to see. But this one just swaps their scores. So now all of a sudden Doug has the 8 and I have the 2. That one's pretty handy if you're like, swapping. This swaps the whole scoreboard. And then finally assign, and this one just sets it. So now they're the same. So that's all the modules. That's all the operators. And that is pretty much scoreboards in a nutshell. Yeah, any other questions? If you want to stick around for a second, I could show you the timer thing. But
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? It was everything. It is pretty. I mean, it's pretty easy, really. But I think. Sorry, how are you tying the individual actions to the scoreboard? Did you mean the actions with the operators, like back here? Oh, okay. Well, in that case, what I did is let me see how I did that one, to be honest with you. That one might be a there's a lot of ways you could do it. There might be a command running that's checking to see if you have an item. There might be, yeah, it's not under here, so that's what I'm doing. Let's see. I have a little. Yeah, again, all the work is hidden in this world, so you'll be able to find it all. But like, so here's some of the. Let's see here. Puzzle treasure. Let's see what we got. Test for. See if treasure's 1. Dog change. Okay, that's just changing him. Where does it check for that? There's somewhere around here. There's gotta be. Oh, you know what? I know where it is. It was so. This is funny. Sorry. So this room here. This room here was laid out differently originally. I think so. I think that the command block is under here. Maybe. Oh, yep, there it is. So the treasure used to be in this room. I moved it around to have it so I can talk this guy out in order. So what I'm doing here is I'm checking to see if I have that item. So that's how I'm setting the value. So you can see when I have the sword, as soon as I grab the sword, it sets my condition for treasure to 1, and that's on that little sidebar that the what was that one? Oh wait, was it adventure? No. States. No. Maybe it's states. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, what did I do? Yeah, there it is. Sorry, I just can't remember what I named it. That's why I see naming them was important because I couldn't find out. I named the states. But you can see it found treasure because I had it's set to 1 because right there it's telling it to set it to 1, right? It's actually not even telling it to set it to 1 there. It's telling it to set it to 1 here. Because there's actually 2 states because the conditions, so I can show them to the player, are separate scoreboards, if you can believe that. Because each of these scoreboards is tracking, and then this one, this one is keeping track of like changing. This one's basically for the dialogue system, so that the dialogue knows, and this one is for the conditions there, and that's the only reason you have to do it that way is because it won't let you granularly create when it comes to like checking the score. See, this is a little thing here at the end that's showing how to open the last door. This is if you guys remember the Redstone Ranch episode we did, we got our AND gate here, where it needs this and that to open, and then it's a flip flop. So when it's one way, this is firing. When it's the other way, this is firing. And these fill in things, like this opens the door and this sets those values. But the you couldn't I couldn't check the scoreboard with um, the way I did it here, where you put in a name to have it show up on under these conditions. Like it's kind of it's a weird thing. It just doesn't let you. It doesn't let you define that. It only lets you pick the scores equals. Only lets you pick the name of the scoreboard, not the conditionals in it. At least not in a way that I found it do, which is kind of annoying. So you kind of have to run separate scoreboards, but only if you're going to check them for that. If you just are doing something because you want to have a checklist like what you see here, then it works fine. I think any copies of all these worlds. Okay, you got it. If you want them really fast, just shoot me an email. I'll put my email at the end like I always do. But I think that there's somewhere that Nadine puts them, maybe somewhere. But yep, there's 4 of them now. This is the 5th Cole's Corner, I think, right? And one of them we didn't have a world. We just talked about game design. So there was not a world tied to that. So we have teleporting and redstone and escape rooms, and now we have the scoreboard worlds. So those are the 4 that you'll be looking for, and I can definitely get you those, or share out wherever they live, which I'm not 100% sure where that is, but I can, if you shoot me an email. The videos are on YouTube too, right? Yes. You know what? That's funny you say that, because I was thinking about that yesterday. I don't know if that's the case, but if you can, that'd be a good place to hook it up to, right?
I think they're just on Facebook right now.
The worlds.
Your videos.
Oh no, they are on YouTube.
Are they on YouTube? Okay, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
and
cool. Good to know.
but I think that might be where they're hosted, and then yeah, they have been added to YouTube. It's true. Yep.
Oh, okay.
They're not searchable though. They're like unlisted or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So you need like a direct link or something, which I think is what gets posted into the lounge, right? So yeah. But yeah, I can make sure. And if you, like I said, if you guys want this world like real fast, I can just shoot me an email and I'll attach it in the reply.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
And I get if you want them all, just I can do that. But I mean, they should all be available. Oh, and one thing I got to tell you. Yeah, here, let me put my email in real quick. It's there you go. I've changed all the worlds into templates, because I want you to be able to have the world and not worry about copying over your original world and breaking it. So now, if just to, I'm sure everybody remembers, but when you go into, my worlds, there's a button in the top right corner that says templates. You click that, and you will find that or those worlds, the Cole's Corner worlds, in that list. And you can create a new one, and you can do it as many times as you want. So you can totally destroy everything, screw it up, play around with it, and then come back to it, and it'll be fresh. You can just keep creating new copies. Earlier, I know I didn't have that exactly. So some of the early ones I think I gave you guys were just a world. So maybe if you borked it, then you're like, oh no, I didn't back it up. So no, you can get them on the original format. Yeah. So I'll send you the template. The MC template file is, if you're ever made an add-on, if you're familiar with them, you just double click it and it will install right into your client. If you have both, Minecraft and education on your system, it might get confused and want to know where to put it. Just tell it education and you'll be good. Well, any other questions? Timer.
Yeah, timer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me show you this timer really quick. So, what we were talking about in regards to the haiku, right? Let me go over here because I can show. I just want to show you a different way instead of making a clock. So, here I don't even have to. I'm just going to steal a command block. Okay, so I got a command block, and what this is going to do is we're going to make a scoreboard called timer, right? And we'll no, what am I doing? Timer. Okay, so we got our timer. Now we're going to make I guess we'll play it off of what I something I do. This is something I do when I take an armor stand. I call it a game manager. That's what my friend used to call it, and so I just call it that now. But I can't really take one. I make a game manager. Because you have to run a scoreboard off something, right? It has to be a player or entity of some sort. So an old thing people used to use was armor stand because it's an entity, but it doesn't move, it doesn't do anything. They're renameable, yada yada yada. There's a lot of reasons why you want to use it. So if you make a world and you have a lot of mechanics going in, you typically build a control room, right? Something similar to like this kind of stuff, but you keep it in a central location. If you ever hack into like Nobel, like any of the Nobel maps, I could show you where the control rooms are. We always build the control rooms kind of centrally located. We put a ticking area on it so they're always active. And that they have a lot of running stuff that's constantly going on. So it's all of our controls. I can show you on the moon base too. I think I showed you the moon base. I have control. My control room is actually above the main base. For this, we're just going to make this guy the game manager. I could run the timer off me, but I'm just going to make this guy the game manager. So I'm going to tag him. He's an entity, and he's a armor stand, and he's going to be this armor stand closest to me. And I'm going to call him game manager. Okay. So he's the game manager. Now, if I add him, now you're going to see what I'm talking about here. When I add the scoreboard and I add him, right? I'm going to add him. I'm going to set him to that scoreboard at the value of 0. Oh, but I have to pick him real fast. So when I pick him, he's an entity, so he's an E, and then he is tagged, as the game manager, and I'm going to give him timer. And I'm going to set him to 0. But you see how he comes up? You can see how his name is like a big old giant string of numbers. That's where you go into, you copy that string of numbers, you put it into your loc file, and you say, make that 17179 number, and you say, let that equal game manager, if you care, if you care about seeing it. Thing is you don't always have to. For this case, I wouldn't even bother unless I wanted you to see this timer. But what we want to see is we want to see this this tick up. So we're going to take this command basically that we just did. I'm just going to copy this command and paste it into this block. But I'm going to say, instead of set, I'm going to say add to the game manager 1. And then I'm going to set this block to a repeat block. I won't make it always active, but I will make a lever or something so we can turn it on and off. But we're going to set the delay just for this so that, because you don't have to set no, I'm going to show you first how I would do it to make a timer every second. So I would just set this to 20 so that, it's going to do the timer for me, the delay for me. And then I'm going to put this lever on here, and now we watch that timer start counting up. So now you're probably wondering, what's it do? Well, let me get back to here. Let me reset. Wait, where was it? I know I had it here in a minute. Get that back to 0. And now let's change this to scoreboard objectives, timer. Oh no, sorry, scoreboard. No, it's gonna be a test 4. That's what it is. Test 4. That entity tag equals game manager, right? Game manager. Okay. So it's looking for the game manager, but it's also looking for scores equals, and we're gonna put in our timer scoreboard. Timer equals, we'll say 5, right? And oh, sorry, I used the wrong brackets. I believe it's this bracket. Sorry, my bad. Because and then you close it up with that. So it's going to look for the game manager with a score of 5. So I'm going to grab this, right? And this is kind of the part where I would put this in a function, right? And I could do that really quick. Or I can just do it in game. What do you prefer? I mean, are you guys all know functions, or do you want to see how this works with a function?
Do a function.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna make a new function, and functions are one of the rare things that you can actually not have to close the game for. Usually when you're making something in Minecraft, and you make you add a new entity, you change the texture, you have to close your world and reopen it. So it like basically reloads it. But functions, well, it, I don't know if you have to make if the first function has to reload. I used to be that way, but I think it might reload. Let me just try this real fast. I'm gonna call it timer. And I'm gonna go in here and then we're gonna, okay, that's our function, just says show teams, which is like nothing. Okay. So I'm gonna take the thing that this used to do. So display sidebar 1. I copy this and I'm gonna paste it into this function. And we're gonna take this part of it that we had here. Oops. And we're gonna combine these two into the function. So basically, so this, when you do this, you're gonna do it as an kind of as an execute instead of test for. Um, so when we're doing it in the world, I would do like a test for, like it's like, oh, it found this thing, but I guess I could still do it that way. Let me just think this out in a minute. But no, because you don't use test. So the test for basically it gives you a yes or no. It's a positive. It's a positive, you know, or negative. What we want is to execute. So we're going to execute as, right? We're going to run this as if we were the game manager. That's why you build a game. That's why you put a game manager in there. So we're going to run it as at E, right? Tag equals game manager. If I can spell, sorry about all that. Game manager. And then the other part is going to be scores equals, and then we're going to get timer equals 5, and we're going to run it. I don't know if you always have to do it, but I got in the habit of it. I don't know if you guys have this habit too, but I always, you have to pick at, and I don't know if you have to do that or not, but I always do. And then I run it at myself. So it's going to game manager. I'm running it as game manager, right? And it's looking for it has to be a game manager, and he has to have scores equals 5, and then he's going to run it at himself. And then what he's going to do is he's going to run a command. He's going to run the scoreboard command for us. So he's going to set the display for the thing called sidebar 1, and then that's what's going to display. So then I'm going to copy this thing because this is going to be our conditionals, right? So we're going to copy all of this. And we have 4 parts, I think, of our haiku. So we'll say the first one happens at 5, and then we'll say every 10 seconds maybe. All right, so I'm going to save this. Let's see if this works. So with functions, sometimes you could just do this. Let's see if this actually worked. If it found timer, if it found, if it finds function timer, it did. See that? That's cool. Like that's the only thing I think that works that way. So if I run function timer, it doesn't do anything, right? Because none of our variables here, none of our conditionals are true. They're all false. So what I'm going to do is now run this instead of, oh no, I need this timer. I need this timer to run, but I also need to have a constant running our check function, right? And it's called timer. So this thing's running, and this thing can just run, doesn't even need anything. And it doesn't need a delay. It's just, this is just going to be bam. So now this is checking for our conditionals every tick, 20 times a second. And now we're going to turn on our timer, and it should start our haiku. But byproduct of that is once it shows the first part of the haiku, we're going to lose tracking of the timer, right? Because you can only just show one thing on the sidebar at a time. And since this thing is actually going to be showing the haiku there, we're going to lose the timer. But you'll see once it hits 5 on the timer is when our show will begin. So let's see if it works. My fingers are crossed. Oh, look at that. Did I mess up? I feel like it was longer than 10 seconds. Oh, yes. Yes. Good call. Good call. All right. Yep. That's what it was. That's what it was. All right. And then back into here and then reload and then turn this guy off. And then I just have to reset our timer and try that again. There it goes. It's long. 10 seconds is probably too long to read the haiku, but you know, we can go back in and you can make it a little bit shorter. But that's how you do it. We can make this 5, 10, 15, and 20 here. And if we just save this and then come back in here, reload one more time, reset that. There we go. Let's see. There it goes. So that's how you make a timer and run things off of it. The timer is just running in the world, you know, and a lot of times what I do is I put like a reset sometimes if I want. Like, so for example, in the moon base world, I showed you guys, I don't remember if I showed you the cinematics I was working on at the time. It might have been on preview, but I basically created a scoreboard, like a timer for the cinematics so that I could go from scene to scene. And I needed something to keep time, right? I needed to know when to put the camera in different locations to catch the little animations I'd set up. So that's the way I did it, is I made a little timer and it just sets the timer at the beginning of cinema, and then the timer clicks down and it knows what to do at different parts of, like, different times in the timer. So yeah, that's that. And that's a little bit, that's kind of a combination of like 3 or 4 concepts all wrapped up into that little thing. You got functions, you got conditionals or variables, whatever you want to call them, and you got scoreboards all wrapped up there, and a little bit of tagging too. just because you know, you could have
Awesome.
you could have not used tags. You could have given the game manager a score, but I just tagged him. So like I could have just I couldn't just say an armor stand because I have a whole bunch of armor stands, but I could have put his name in there. There's any way I could identify him, right? But that's scoreboards.
That was awesome, Cole. Thanks so
Oh,
much for
thank you.
taking us through all that. That was great.
Yeah, you bet. I hope that helped. And yeah, thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate that.
it's amazing. It's filled in a lot of blanks for me. And yeah, I see a few other bunch of future applications I'm gonna use this for.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's you'll start doing it a lot once you especially binary stuff. You'll start flipping. You'll be like is this true or false? True or false? True or false? 0 1 0 1. Yeah. And timers and stuff are fun too.
Hmm.
Scores and yeah. You basically put like a hidden timer on anybody's thing. Like anytime you want something to happen, like anything, like you could just be like, "Have you guys played too much?" Like okay, everybody, you got a minute to get to your spawn thing or whatever. You don't want to just teleport in there. Okay, you guys, I'll get to where you need to be. Oh, you took more than a minute to get there. Bam, teleport you all after 1 second. Or 5 seconds, whatever. I mean 1 second, 1 minute. I meant, but you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
and so that's a way. Oh, cool. Yeah. There's that's the. Yeah, she posted the That's the YouTube playlist. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for sharing that. And I will, if you just shoot me an email, I'll reply back with this template. Oh, wait. They could be added as comments. Can you do that? I don't, oh, you're asking. I don't know. But it's funny. I was literally thinking about that yesterday. I was like, I wonder if we could attach them to, because one thing I don't think you could do it in Facebook. At least not. I mean, you might be able to set up the link. I didn't know. I don't think you can do it as a comment in Facebook unless you have them stored somewhere. Like I can't just put them. I can't give everybody access to my like SharePoint. Um, but yeah, I was wondering if you could do it in YouTube. We'll figure it out.
I've dumped all your shares up into, or all your worlds that you've given us into like I think I've got them in a OneDrive share and a Google Drive share. So I think
Okay.
anybody that's part of my little group will already have access to them through my
Cool.
shared drive.
Nice. Well, cool. Yeah, if you want this one quick, otherwise, we'll get them all. I'll get all the templates up. But in fact, if you want, I can just send you all of them too, Dan, because they're all templates now. If you want the template.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure, and I'll just send them, and you could put them out. But if anybody else wants them all, or just today's or whatever, just shoot me a mail, and I'll reply back with it. Okay, sweet. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I'll get it right after my next call. Alrighty then.
All right.
Yes, you bet. You got it. I will. I definitely will email you. Just shoot me a email that you want me to send them to. From the email that you want them sent back to you. Alrighty, folks. Well, thanks again for another satisfying episode. For me, it was satisfying. I hope it was for you.
That was brilliant.
Definitely a good time.
Yeah.
Cool. Remember, if you have anything that you want to talk about or discuss for the next one, I think we're going to be winding down for the summer here. During the gap, if everybody's not working, if there's anything you guys want to see, and you're like, hey, I miss Cole's Corner not being around or whatever, you feel free to drop me an email, and we can maybe throw up a summer party or something and get together and build some
cool.
stuff. It'd be fun to just build some stuff together. Maybe we can even make a little world where we all come together and put everything we learned this year together. I feel like now I'm a school teacher, but like we can put together and like all of our talents and build something from all the things we learned. It will include teleports and escape room. We make escape room with teleporters and scoreboards and redstone, right? And then But other than that, while we're gone, I'll still be posting stuff in the lounge over the summer, and probably posting some videos and stuff. Got some fun, goofy stuff like the top 10 things you didn't know about active citizen, and I'm hoping that soon I'll be making a follow up to that one called top 10 things you didn't know about peace builders, and on and on. So hopefully you guys won't forget about me over the summer, KIT and all that, right?
Definitely not.
And if you need me for anything, you all have my email, and I'll be here until
All right,
I'm
man.
not. So
Thanks.
thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
All right.
And have a great rest of your day or night, as it would be. Thank you.
you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Colt. Bye.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks. And special thanks to Nadine for getting it all done, even driving. She's doing something. She's on the road. She's out doing something, but she always comes through. So props to her. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Cheers. Bye.
Yep. Bye bye.